Hey there folks, and welcome to the next GT7 weekly challenges of November week 4. In other words, November 28th to December 4th. Was it my birthday? Starting with the Japanese FF Challenge 450 at Bodega Road Track C layout. Which I am driving a Daihatsu Copen 2002. Which in terms of build this Daihatsu Copen has is the cup build, because yeah, this is the three weight reduction cup build I am currently doing for the cup tryouts in the future. I decided to drive this for FF Challenge at the end and stuff like that. So good. Yeah, this is like full racing modification, just with the comforts. Softs. We can play sort of an even field, but I am definitely going to be faster on the straightaways. That's the one thing I noticed immediately when it came to this build. Besides being, you know, weight reduction, just everything above. Basically, like, this is probably like the fastest, like 450 kind of stuff you can probably drive at the end though. Something like this. Then look how fast I know zooming by. Yeah, that was two Civic Type R EECs, and then there's a Civic SI Extra just up ahead here, which, yeah, this is when the Civic SI Extra was introduced and such, so that's nice and all. I need to drive that car a bit more. So, yeah, it's a fun car, the Civic SI is. Yeah, this was before the Type R became a thing, because the Egg... No, I don't even think the Egg was a Type R. I think it was the EEC was the first Type R. And then it became a Type R on down. All the highest classes you can get for Civics back then were like Civic SIs. I think that was the best you can get if you want a high performance Civic at the end of the day, I believe. I mean, the only other thing you can do is go for the spoon versions, I assume, and other modification ones like Mugen or something like that, some aftermarket ones. Then how crazy these Civics can be for, you know, modifications and stuff. When it comes to aftermarket parts and whatever street parts you come across, or just slap an NSX motor in it, either one of them. At the end of the day, I'm curious because yeah, they haven't added the engine swap for the NSX motor to the Civics yet, which is kind of weird. I wonder why on that. Is it literally the same motor? Because I wouldn't think that it's actually the same motor on that matter. But yeah, we got mostly just Honda cars for the most part. Oh heck, I think they're all Honda cars. Yeah, they're all Honda cars. Yeah, I take that back. They're all Honda cars, except for me. I'm the Daihatsu. That just exists. Hi. Yeah, you have the Honda Fit, which is trying to pass the Egg, I see. Which not surprised. The Honda Fit hybrid is pretty quick. Until it loses the hybrid system, that's not that very quick. Otherwise, it's not that bad. And then you got the Integra Type R's, and then you have the Civic Type R's, and the Civic SI. Actually, yeah, not one Suzuki Swift. Holy crap, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's just nothing but Hondas. Besides me, I'm a Daihatsu. That's great. Yeah, to say much about the Daihatsu at the end of just a fun little FF K car, and this is weird to say, but like one of the first FF K cars too, in terms of Gran Turismo, I would say. And that's the weird part, because like I will say this, most K cars are all-wheel drive, or rear drive, or MR drive. Not FF. FF is kind of a rare case unless you're the Honda M1, for example. But that ends that one. So to the American Clubman Cup 700 at Artec Raceway Laguna Seca. I am now driving the Wicked Fabrication GT51, I believe it's called, yeah. There was a Ford Coupe 41, I believe, or Lincoln Coupe 51. It's kind of weird. This one's a very weird car at the end of it. I thought it was a Ford Coupe, but it might actually be a Lincoln because it says Lincoln on the side, so I mean, it technically don't matter about Fords at the end of the day, so there's that to take account. And this is modified to heck, I'm back. I will say I did love the vinyl design I decided to turn around to, because yeah, this is the one I decided to vinyl design because yeah, it needed it after that winch one, and I need something that fits a bit more into the color realm, so I've given giving it that diner look. Because yeah, this car just looks like a type you could see at a diner. At the end of the day, or you know, old school diners and stuff back then, diner restaurants. You know how they were. Such, but yeah, we got a Viper and a Ford Focus in front of us here. Yeah, I'm surprised how well this moves. Cause yeah, this is in sports speed, which is like 300 horsepower. So when I say sports speed, I mean just record sports, so 186 miles per hour. So not too crazy. About right for the most part, especially for this competition. Well, I say loosely because then I can remember it was in racing hard tires. Technically, I would probably suggest 200 miles per hour. I would say to beat these guys at the end. I could have tried it with the sports hards, but I don't know. It didn't feel like it was keeping up to them at the end of the day. But if I tried a little bit harder, I might have. I can't say for sure, to be honest. I would say it's just not gonna beat the yeah, because I went around like I think 3 to 4 laps. It was still like 13 or 14 seconds away from the Mustang GT at the end of the day by the time of 4th lap. So yeah, I think it's just safe to say racing hard tires for the most part, which is what I did, what I turned out to do. But yeah, overall not bad, but for performance I would recommend the 200 instead. 186 is not bad. It's just, yeah, you have to use a softer tires to go against these cars at the end of the day, because yeah, they're definitely hitting that 200 mark for the most part, which I'm not surprised. American cars, what do you expect? We Americans love our high performance, even though we can't keep fuel with the craps half time. This thing goes. Because fuel, what's that? This thing goes. Unless your name's the Viper GTS, where the fuel might technically be fine, unless, I mean, it's a V10, then again. So, yeah, that still technically eats a lot of fuel. You got the Mustang GT trying to pass the Ford Focus, because I kind of feel bad about the Ford Focus, because yeah, I drive it like crap, because I know this Focus goes a lot quicker than that. But yeah, we got a Mustang GT in the front, looking nice as ever. I don't know what vinyl it's based off of, but it's based off someone's, for the most part. Then you got the red with the white stripes, which I do not care for that red, because that red's the basic Viper red. Instead of the saucy red that Gran Turismo did for the first Gran Turismo, I would say. But yeah, I will say, I like the red in the Gran Turismo 1 more than the official Viper red. That's the official Viper red. Oh yeah, and then we got Tesla. Hi, Elon Musk. Heard you got shafted really hard. This thing goes. And then you got a Camaro SS. And then a Corvette C8. Looking good as ever. And the banana yellow car feels like. Feels like a banana yellow. Yeah, so I prefer the Zeus bronze that they gave to it. That goldish bronze is really good. For the most part. Or is it reddish bronze? I think it's like more of a reddish bronze. Kind of think of it. But yeah, otherwise it doesn't look that bad. And then you got the Camaro SS, which I do recall seeing that final before. I just can't remember what exactly. I think it's just a K and N one, if I recall. The Tesla, I have no idea what this is based off of. I'm not much of a Tesla fan, nor am I going to know special built up there. As the thing goes. I will look at electric cars, but to say if I have any interest of driving something that's, you know, basic, it's basic. As the thing goes. Oh, basic, but fuel goes bye-bye, because we Americans don't like our fuel very much. And the Tesla really shows, I gotta say. This way. Oh, we got the solid state battery. Hopefully that will save that, right? Right? Somewhat. I would say somewhat to that. You need to get better batteries also at the end of the day when it comes to electric cars. If the drain on that is that bad, that just kind of tells me at the end of it, you know? Yeah, got Corvette C7 in the front. Not surprised, because that's the real competition there, not the Mustang after all. It's definitely the C7 Corvette for the most part. Which is the best part, yeah, they share the same years, yet that Corvette still kicks the crap out of the Mustang. Hate to say that. But you know. I'm also not surprised because that's not the high performance Mustang, that's the regular GT Mustang. Which is weird to say that because ain't the GT the high performance? Not exactly. The GT is the V8 Mustang. It's not the performance Mustang. The performance Mustang, if you're looking for that, you're looking for the Shelby 350R, or you're looking for a Mustang Fastback maybe. I'm not really sure. The Boss 302, like this Mustang GT is kind of based off of from the vinyl, because I believe that's the Boss 302 style. Even though it doesn't have a Boss 302. It has the Coyote. This thing goes. But yeah, for the most part, that's just how it goes. This is how it goes. Yeah, the regular Mustang's a V6. So, and they always been a V6, I will say. So before anyone says, I do like to see a V6 Mustang, I'm not gonna lie, because I do kind of find that there should be lower spec Mustang at the end of the day. Like, basically one more trivia, I would say more in the Nissan Silvio level, I would say. I'd like to see an experience of that case. Because I believe the V6 should kind of exist, and I'm kind of curious to see in a endurance race, like which one's better at the end of the day, the V6 or the V8, for the most part. Like which one restrains further. And does it prove that V6 is better, or does it prove that V8 is just better at the end of it? Because I like to see some of those, because that's the cool part when you have a bunch of cars at the end of the day. You get to do experiments like that. And especially with the custom race and stuff, you can do a lot of crazy wonders. It's fun at the end of the day. Very fun. For the most part. Yep, so now just drive this Wicked Fabric at the end of the day, because yeah, I don't know the whole history about this one. I need to look at this a bit more, I must say. Otherwise, just a fun old style Ford Coupe for 1951 for the most part. So yeah, this is an old car technically, but customized to, you know, modernize, like retro modern, I would say. And also one of the ones that won the SEMA Awards show way back. To the Wheel Rally Challenge at Colorado Springs Lake. Which I am driving the Nissan GTR Grey B Rally, because it's one of the rally cars I need to buy. I forgot to buy this one. So I turned around and bought this one. This thing does. Yep, so I am driving this in oh, I guess, oh no, I did mention the build for that. Okay. For this build, I'm driving it at, I believe, the 350 kilometer per build, because that is kind of the highest spec you can give it, because if you try to go any higher, good luck on that. I will say that. Then again, if I probably lower the spoiler, I might get the 250. Might get the 250 build. But let's see. I'll have to try again. Otherwise, it's technically the mid-high build at the end of it. So very fast when it gets these guys, which only hitting like 550 horsepower, which that's kind of a weird thing. I got this guy on hit. No, I think it hit like 493 horsepower, something like that. So it's just a tad bit higher. What it normally is, I think, if I recall. So I'm pretty sure it's like 493 or something like that initially. But with the turbos, you can bump it up to like 793 horsepower. So it's a little crazy for the most part. I'd love to almost hit 250, but it's just a tad short on the horsepower because, or not horsepower, but miles per hour, because of the, I think it's safe to say the code drag just holds it back big time. Yeah, when you add more arches, flares to the car, you start losing your code drag, and when you lose your code drag, you lose your speed efficiency. That's right, big time. So yeah, that's the one thing to take note when you make a car more spoiler happy, is you're gonna lose more of your code drag, and when you lose more code drag, you might technically burn more fuel in return on top of it. So take notes about things you do to cars. I will say, as thing is. Otherwise, just driving this car to victory, because yeah, there's nothing standing my way about this, except for driving like a maniac during this ride event at the end of it. So I sometimes just hit the sides here every now and then. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really that great on rally, to be honest. You know, I try to. I really do try to, because I played the one Dirt 2.0 game, or whatever it's called. It's well, I can't really technically say dirt. It's like some kind of I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, so I think it's like Dirt Rally 2.0 or something like that. It was a fine game until the stupid rubber band on that. Like, you want to talk about crazy rubber band? You think Gran Turismo was kind of crazy on rubber band? There's a lot of other games that are way bad about that, and especially how artificial those times are given. Because I don't know how they get these times at the end of the day, but it's like you're guaranteed to lose no matter what you do. Because you can't see them do the performance, you just only see the time of the performance they do on that game. So it's like, yeah, fuck that at that point. And yeah, that was on the weeklies they have, which I don't know if that was intentionally broken or what, but holy crap, those times though. Because I thought I was ready for that. It's like, okay, after doing like the somewhat hard part, or somewhat hard mode of the surely I could go do the weeklies now, right? Wrong. Very wrong. Wrong! As thing goes. Yeah, this driver gets the competition at the end of the day. At the Lancer Evo final. Yeah, you gotta call it the final because it was the final Evo. The trip to the Lancer, as thing goes. Because yeah, I saw a guy talk about top 20 cars that died too early for its own good. And Lancer was on that list. So rest in peace to Lancer, as the saying goes. Then you got the Peugeot RCZ, one of the weirdest cars to this day to me. Because you would think that's just a Peugeot 208, which technically it kind of is, but it's just a coupe too. Or it's a coupe that's in an FF drivetrain, I think. To be honest, that doesn't sound that pleasant at the end of the day. It feels like they should have tried a FR variant. Which, I don't know what's up with that. It's like companies turn around and make coupe cars, but they still keep the FF layout. People want an FR layout of the car. It's like, give them that. That's like Honda's case of why on earth the Integra's gonna, or not Integra, but the Prelude's gonna freaking fail now, because they're charging 40 grand for a hybrid Civic, even though it's not a hybrid Civic, it's a Prelude. This terrible. It's like super fucking terrible. It's like you guys have one job. It's like is to make it an FR, but you didn't make it an FR. You made it an FF with a hybrid. Which yeah, I do agree. The whole hybrid might fix the whole situation of it acceleration stutter, but still though, people wanted the Prelude to be as what Prelude intended to be an FR, and you killed that factor for many enthusiasts or any people that had interest in that car when you do stuff like that. So it's just really retarded, very retarded for the most part. Not smart. I'll just say that. That's a very dumb move. Even though the car might still be good, I won't be wrong about that. I won't lie about that, but it's just what people wanted on paper. You're not giving them what's on paper. You're giving them the fake paper instead. Everything goes. They wanted the golden ticket. You didn't give them the golden ticket. You gave them a fool's gold ticket. Everything goes when it came to that. That's the bad part. Yeah, otherwise just trying to get this rally done at the end of the day. Because yeah, like I said, this is kind of the reason I've been debating a lot if I wanted to keep weeklies at the end of the day. But I'm going to try the newer weeklies the next week. Because yeah, it's going to be revised big time. Because this is the last of the old style weeklies, I will say. So there may not be this race ever again, to say. This might be the last time I'll be doing this race, maybe. It depends on what races they choose, because they're still going to choose 2 races, but you got a time trial, a mission, and a special event race, guaranteed, from now on. And then you got also, you know, the Power Pack DLC, which, God, hopefully that doesn't cost an arm and leg to get. Because I might pay that up front, but we'll see. Yeah, or just wait, either way. I kind of got the PlayStation 5 version more just to get the update to be honest, and try that selfie mode. Which overall, the selfie mode's not that bad. Just not kind of what I thought it was going to be at the end of it. But to the special event at Watkins Glen Warren Course. Yeah, we are driving the Honda Rod 272 1965 one-leg race. So yeah, against these guys once again, which yeah, I'm just gonna say same build, same everything. Trying to figure out what else to talk as the thing goes. Besides, well, if you don't know, I'm November 28th here. It was my birthday, so I thank you all in advance for those who give me birthday wishes at all, but thanks on that. So I guess the other thing to mention, speaking of that update, I guess to mention what 8 cars is about to show up on this next update here, and we got the S-Space F1, we had the Mine Skyline R34, we got the Fiat Panda, is it IF or FE or something like that? It's like some kind of sub model to the Panda at the end of it. And then we had the 2 Ferrari 288s, we had the race car and the production model to be exact. And then we got the FTO GPX of Mitsubishi. Trying to think of the other one. Oh yeah, the Polestar car. We had the Polestar car. I don't know if that's electric or what to say, but I just know we had that too. And lastly, I think the Gran Turismo Formula car, which I think it's based around the 90s Formula car. I'm not really sure. Maybe the GT3 one, perhaps. But for the most part, we're getting that too. So basically, getting our Formula car in the future. Yeah, I hope they do a stock car sometime soon. Either a stock car or do the stock truck, from like the Craftsman truck. Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy to do. Yeah, because I do like what Gran Turismo was doing, because instead of, going after license for the freaking cars at the end of the day, instead, you make a car based around the concept of that car, instead. Which, not gonna lie, better ideal. Very much better ideal. It's that way you don't have to pay for, like, example, I know a strict one, if I recall, I think Williams is very strict about their, license agreement, I would say. Or just anyone who thinks they're high class and thinks they want to snob all of the other companies at the end of the day. That's what I'm basically saying at the end of the day, because that's the majority of Formula companies. So yeah. To say. And I don't like that every one bit. I will say to that. I don't even know why they're doing that. But it's dumb. Very dumb. Because, yeah, you're trying to represent history, and yet you're going to destroy it by having this whole license tax to it at the end of the day. It's just stupid. Just fucking retarded and stupid. That's what I'll just say about that at the end of it. And such, but anyways, on to basically this race here, which, yeah, this race, basically simple. It's just you drive the Honda Raw 272 against the other Honda Raws, to say. Okay, each of the vinyls here probably most likely dedicated to a racer of some sort. I won't be surprised, because these look very familiar for the most part. If you were probably looking at other pictures of the Honda Raws. So then the white one's the obvious one. That's the default one. And then you have ones like, I think the Lotus one. Lotus used a lot of Honda motors, I do recall, I think. For the most part. And then, like the McLaren MP4, I believe is a Honda motor, if I recall. I think. For the most part, too. But yeah, it just shows a lot of bit of history in some level way. You just can't really show the car. See, like I said, like license agreement just kills every reason a person to be a fan of at the end of it. Because instead of making a legitimate model, you have to make a knockoff model. You are enforced to make a knockoff model because of these stupid ways of taxing people because they don't want you to use, they don't want you to use their rights over something that they may not be responsible for that at the end of the day. Just stupid. Just very stupid for the most part, because we know where the true identity's at the end of the day, but that's what it is, to prevent an identity of another to go to someone, on a different reason. So it's their excuse of identity death. So it's like, oh, you put this vinyl on this car. Hey, that's our vinyl. That's like I recall one instance where this lady went out of her way whose car is not even based to the racing car team, which you may notice one with the Porsche with the shark teeth one. That team, instead of saying nice to that lady who made a vinyl similar to their design, they instead that, oh hey, if it's so highly accurate, we will sue you for a highly accurate depiction of our vinyl on your car. That's what they implied instead. Not saying, oh, it's nice. Instead, let's just factually tax you. That's how greedy and empowering some companies will try to do. Instead of playing, you know, the nice guy, they play highly defense bullshit at the end of it. Which, yeah, that team also got knocked for that too, on top of it. For that kind of tension, because like, what the fuck? You don't do that. That person wanted to support you, sir, not in your freaking, not mock you at the end of it. But if you want mockery, we'll give you mockery. As saying goes. I mean, why else do you think South Park exists? Saying goes. Besides, you know, characters and stuff. Yeah, just trying to figure out what else to say, and that's the bad part too, because we got the other big race coming up. I'm trying to figure out what else to say. Besides, well, I don't know if I'm going to be doing tryouts this week, since I got that full cover to do for that, because that's going to be coming up pretty soon here. As it's already technically the 29th here. Yeah, it's going to be like straight up next, yeah, because I got straight up next week, I have weeklies. Yeah, okay, so I might be able to do at least one tryout coming back there. I must say. And then in terms of other things, getting back to Borderlands and stuff. Gonna have fun dealing with that once again. After one of the episode messes, I will say, because yeah, there's one episode I haven't shown yet. It's gonna be an utter mess to deal with. Yeah, this just basically just driving this Honda Rod at the end of the day to victory. Once more. Thing goes. Wake me up when we get there. That thing goes. Overall, I gotta say about this week was kind of a C, to be honest, because it's kind of just a bit bland, but it's okay. It's not like, you know, something special. It's just kind of right, and you know, I kind of write myself up, you know, the driving cars that I have like not much info on at the end of the day. That's kind of more my fault on the most part. That was it. But I do gotta admit though, the event doesn't really carry it either. I mean, it's just walk and swim. It's not really, you know, shake a stick at. It's a fun event no less, but it's just, I don't know, maybe I mean, it would be nice if it was a short endurance, because I don't know what's with them being so scared of not doing a short endurance race. Like, at least enough to make or at least a pit stop, and then come back into it. So it's like, just to see if there's a challenge or anything to it. But then again, it's probably just the same matter no matter how you do it. No matter how I would think of changing stuff, that's probably about it. But yeah, just overall, just a fun little old Formula race at the end there. Because yeah, these Formulas are like really old. Because as you can see, there's no spoiler. Because spoiler wasn't really much of a thing until Ferrari realized on one of their either 250 GTOs, I believe, got a spoiler, and the spoiler helped the car stable. Because yeah, as you can see, every time I high throttle this car, it kind of goes out of whack because it kind of needs a spoiler to counteract that, but it doesn't have one. So it's just kind of just wheels out because it can. So it's like, and it's not like it's a really terrible thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of incidents involved with this car too, a little bit. Because yeah, that's the fun part when it comes to Formula car history. How many times have people wrecked? Because Formula cars are known to have a bad history about that. A very bad history. And it really doesn't want to be reminded about that. Because, I mean, look at it. You're already sitting in a tub. You're already sitting in a little aluminum steel tub at the end of it. Anyways, off to the World Touring Car 900 at Suzuka Circuit. Which I am driving. Well, kind of a bit of a cheat, I'm gonna be honest, but I am driving the Grade 1 car that is the Toyota TSO50 Hybrid, or it was the Tososo Hybrid, I call it. It's a Tososo Hybrid 19, or not 19, oh my god. Imagine LMP car in 1900s. Oh gosh. But no, 2016. 2016, this driver gets a bunch of Grade 2s at the end of the day because that's the only thing they kind of provide here. It would be nice if they add some hybrid LMPs because I will say some LMPs, like example this one, can only go up to its speed because there is no turbo upgrades for this car, nor engine upgrades for this car. I will say, when you buy this car, which thank God it's $1 million by the way, because I will say this was the last LMP car I technically had to buy, too, fun fact. And it's only $1 million, but the growth is $3 million, just to say. And what you get is a 493 horsepower paint car that hits about 217. I say loosely because we're very tired of being hitting that. So, very cross the mark, so to say. But it did it. It eventually did it. So yeah, the TSO50 Hybrid, which is overall not a bad car, but there's like no engine upgrades when you buy this, so something to warn about this car. If you plan to use this car, I hope you're using it for something like this, because if you use it for the Grade 1 racing, I don't even know if I want to suggest that at the end of the day. So honestly, this is a perfect spot to use this car, because I think that's why they have a high grade at the end of the day, why the WCC 900 instead of 850 is because of that reason. Because there's some cars here like this, which is weird because in that case it feels like they should turn around and make events dedicated to the WC 900 that has, you know, these LMPs. And they don't. They just don't. Instead, you have Grade 3s, low Grade 2s, and you got the higher Grade 2s that technically hit as fast as the Grade 1s. And when I say Grade 1s, I mean specifically these hybrids. Because yeah, I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if I put an AI battle in the future against Grade 2s and LMPs. And it turns out it's the most fairest battle possible besides of fuel reasons. I would not be surprised on that matter. Because yeah, this functionally is just as fast as a Grade 2 if you punch a Grade 2 a bit higher. So, and not only that, it's only hitting like 350 kilometers per hour, so it's not that really crazy quick and such. But I will note, I did cut a portion of this race at the end of the day, so for those that want the full gist of the race, but basically, at some point I'm going to pass them, and that basically ends it at that point. Oh, and also show the dash cab. Yeah, I will say I prolonged it by showing the dash cab, but I will cut it to a point here eventually. Once I basically get up to competition, because it's not going to be that hard. It's really not going to be that hard. So you got the low Grade 2s, which are not super fast. They're fast, but they're not crazy fast. And then you have the higher Grade 2s that, you know, technically shouldn't be Grade 2s. They should technically be Grade 1s, to be honest. Those 2016 GT500s, they should be Grade 1s, to be honest. Not gonna lie. It's just they have a faster fuel intake. That's really the big difference. Besides, maybe having to be faster. Maybe. And that's a loosely saying. Okay, you got the Mercedes CLK LM, you got the Super GT500, which I don't even know why you're here. Besides being a sad disgrace. I feel bad. Anytime I see these Grade 3 cars, I just feel bad because it's impossible. It's gonna be, I'm just gonna say flat out, it's probably impossible to win the race with the Grade 3. Because I wouldn't think it'd be possible, for the most part. Now for low Grade 2s, it'd be quite a challenge, I'll say, because I still got 2 Grade 2s I gotta buy. I need to buy the SC430 and I need to buy another the GTR GT500, the 2008 variant. Because I have the 2016 variant, I don't have the 2008 one. Which is the X900, which, that's fine, they're pretty cheap anyways. They're not that crazy, for the cost factor at least. I think like 750,000, so that's pretty cheap for a car like that and such. But yeah, the real competition are these two GTR Nismo bros, as usual. I'm not surprised. These cars are absolutely quick. And they're even max gearing too, by the way. It would be more crazier if they weren't max gearing. Because yeah, these cars are way faster than they're intended to be. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So that one knows wearing racing tires too. I just noticed that. That one's wearing racing hards. That one's wearing. But yeah, here's the GTMs, which is the other fastest one. And especially too with the DRS system. Yeah, that's the later year car too. I think that's a 2020, was it? Something like that. It's definitely a late year one. But yeah, that's when they had the DRS system, the drive racing system. That allows you to draft more and stuff, which is very interesting for certain cars like the. Because it turns out the Time X, because yeah, I had to do the arch speed demon, because I never did the trophy for that, and I turned around and did that before I transitioned to PlayStation 5 Grand Theft 7, because yeah, I will say, whatever trophies you get on the 4 version applies to the 5. So if you so happen to get a Platinum of 4 version, you get a Platinum of the 5 version too. That's the fun part, but I won't get the Platinum because I didn't do Sport Mode, which I'm good. That thing goes. I probably should do it. I'm just a bit of a slack on that. I don't really care for Sport Mode. Not only that, Sport Mode, they really expect you to be really good, be a nice boy at the end of the day and not having fun very much. They don't expect you to drive recklessly or cause, which is the scary part I am scared of. What's the case? I probably should just turn around and do it at this point, so I'll be a bitch. That thing goes. You bitch. That thing goes. And you get the GTR, and you get the Toyota Supra, which, again, so bad. Why are you here? It's like, why? You could have been like in the WC 800, to be honest. It would be so much better for your cars at the end of the day. Which I don't know why they're not, to be honest. Like, this is like very. WTC 900 is the weirdest event in my eyes when it comes to looking at events. Sometimes this is usually the weirdest one, and this technically applies the same case to Neo Classics, even though in Neo Classics those cars are kind of detuned, so they can't go that crazy, but they're still pretty crazy because of fuel efficiency and how light they are, and how much they maneuver at the track at the end of the day, and how much speed averages they get in terms of difference between grade 3 cars. It's a big matter. It's a very big matter. So yeah, because just say grade 2 GT500s will have much higher speed averages than grade 3 GT500 cars, I will say. Because that's just how much tech has evolved since then. It evolved very much. Matter of fact, if anything, the GT500s of yesteryears, that is, the Supra and the Skyline, they eventually became GT300s. So if anything that they should be pitted against, it's the GT300s. Like the Subaru BRZ, for example. Okay, I forgot there's technically two Toyota GT86s. You have the BRZ, which is technically the GR86, and then you have the GT86 not prototype, but one used for sport, specifically. Before it became the Toyota Supra, because the Toyota Supra wasn't there on day one. That's for it. It became later of an update, and then transitioned to 7 here. It became a staple, or the Supra became a staple, while the GT86 just still kind of exists at the end of the day. It's just there. It's very much there. And you got the RCF GT500, which is very weird on the most part, because the RCF is essentially, you know, Lex Toyota as well, just Lexus. But I will say there is a strict requirement when it comes to GT500s. They're stuck with inline floors. This sucks. That was the one big requirement they deal with nowadays. Is that specifically. Which probably, not gonna lie, probably super healthy. Probably super healthy for racing purposes. So it's just a small inline four that hits about 800 horsepower. You got a pocket rocket there, sir. That thing goes. Which that is insane. That's it. That thing goes. Pocket rockets always are. Pocket rockets are always very insane machines at the end of the day, and the GT500s are that case for the most part. Now, older GTRs, like specifically the 2008, that is a GTR of itself. That is literally a GTR in terms of motor and stuff. Because yeah, the engine transition didn't happen until I think 2013 or so. So then there was special ones like the Nissan 350Z. There was another special one in Honda's case, which is the HSV, because they needed to find a replacement for the NSX. And they also wanted to try a V8 motor in the NSX at the end of the day. Very interesting car on that. And not only that, is one of the loudest cars you could drive in Gran Turismo 6. I'm not kidding on that. That was one of the loudest cars. That thing was insane when you hear that. But yeah, at some point I did pit it at some point in advance. Not because of, well, it was technically fuel consumption, but fuel consumption is more of a matter of pace. Because when it comes to pit strategies, you want to pit whenever your tires are not too low in burn, but you know, get the most pace out of it. Squeeze the most pace out of it, and then switch to the better tires. That's usually the actual strat when it comes to having to switch your tires. Not using it 1 to 10, so it's like that's usually how you should go about when it comes to racing. Because otherwise you lose pace if you don't pit at a time where the tire wear the tire wear was very low. You want to pit when it's just about right. To get that extra squeeze of distance, so it's like distance and less time to burn. So that's the thing when it comes to endurance racing and such, is that. Yeah, so now I just see the Super and GTR just in the back. How you guys doing? But yeah, I'm about to pass Super here. Yeah, this is the point where I'm about to skip at some point, because at this point I got to show everything. And then this kicked the GTR Nismo Bros in the crotch at the end. This car will do it. This car will very much do it. Which is going to when, you know, they're locked with 160 mile/hour gears. That's the weird part when it comes to those GT500s. They're locked to only like 170 miles/hour gears, which is like, that's super tight. That is like utterly super tight for those cars. Not really sure why, besides, you know, if you want more crazy acceleration, but that's really about it. But yeah, onto the cut here, which at this point is showing like the half of the front of the track here. So, but yeah, that basically ends that for this event at the end of the day. Overall, it's not a bad event. Well, if you weren't broken, but they allow it though. That's the thing. Because a reminder that this goes up to 900 pp, so you could drag any LMP here and just kick these cars with a crotch at the end of it. Which yeah, I tried to drift with that. It kind of can do it, kind of not. I mean, it is a hybrid system after all, and the hybrid will negate the spin out factor. So instead, what you see, it just moves around like it's on ice skates at the end of the day. It's very funny in regards. Overall, this is basically the last LMP I had to buy at the end of the day, so I bought all the LMPs at this point. But yay! Finally! I'll technically just buy the rest of the cars, but I'm gonna wait till the update here. Because I'm probably gonna need that $16 million overall. Because I don't know how much that S-Space is gonna cost. I have a big feeling it's gonna cost about probably 3 to 5 mil. I have a feeling. Maybe higher. Maybe higher. And then you have the Mine Skyline, which is already probably $1 million itself right there. Wouldn't be surprised. But I am happy that's bad. And then you got basically all the other, oh yeah, like the Forma cars, $1 million too. And then, God, whatever crazy one. Oh, the Ferrari race car, that's probably gonna be like 750 grand. I'm not gonna be too worried on that. The FTO, probably like 40 grand, I assume. Basically the standard production price. But yeah, basically overall just money rewards for this weeklies. Like I said, that's why I kind of gave it a C at the end of the day. It's not bad, it's not that crazy. But that basically ends that for this weeklies overall. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, you enjoyed this little teaser here, which is my birthday card, because this is the card I got for my birthday reward for when you go into Sarah around your birthday within the 7 days. 7 days less, I should say. And go check her in the 7 days less, you get rewarded a car. Last car was the Zagata VGT, now it's the Toyota SFR Racing Concept, which I do like this car. Because you do get to modify this car. The only problem about this car, you can't see the cabin. Because this was one of the pre-sport cars, I will say. But it's a very fun sport car nonetheless. And also a car, in terms of nostalgic memories, this is a car I used for the rain endurance race. When I say endurance race, the mission challenge races, for example. It was the Tsukuba endurance race to be exact. I used that very car to do that event. Sports hard tires is one at the end of it. Might be sports names, I don't know. But overall, this is basically on a 217 mile per hour build of the 350 kilometer to be exact. Yeah, I'm just recapping all the cars here too. Cause yeah, I basically race against, in terms of custom race, on the low. I want to say low custom settings, so I went with comfort mediums, and what's the best way to say it? This is basically the result I got for car selection. Yeah, could have been higher. Yeah, it could have been very much higher, but I went with the low settings so I could just, squeeze out more money, because you get $282,000 for doing this race for just 3 laps in Nürburgring, which is less than 30 minutes. But until then, people, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care and ciao. See you then.